Okay, welcome. Welcome to the Accelerating Digital Adoption Podcast. I'm Jay Kerway, Managing Partner at Value Add Group, leading healthcare innovation. As many of you know, Value Add Group, our accelerator experiences equip leaders to accelerate digital adoption for better, faster R&D. And today I'm joined by Guoying, hello, Global Head of Pharma Technical Development, Data and Digital at Roche. Did I get it right?
Right.
All right. So Guoying, as is customary, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song that helps us get into the right mood. And
Wonderful.
yeah, you're allowed to dance. You ready? Tell me if you hear it
Yes.
or not. You hear it, right?
Powered by Riverside.
Riverside is the top of our game. There it is. Feeling the good vibes. All right, Guoying. The smile goes a long way.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, remind me, you attended an accelerator.
Yep.
Which one was it?
Uh, so Jacob, I attended the immersion accelerator. So a unique for this program is it has a very unique in-person immersion experience in MOA at Utah.
Moab experience.
Yep.
That's hard to get to Moab, though, isn't it?
Oh,
Even
not
from San
really.
Francisco?
Yeah, you hop on airplanes, arrived in Salt Lake City, then another leg of plane, and you are right there.
Not as hard as people think.
No, not at all.
Was there anything that sometimes that's a concern? Was there anything that you were when you were thinking about coming to attend that immersion accelerator that
Mhm.
made it difficult for you that made you hesitate?
Honestly, for me, it wasn't hard for me at all because I've always been fascinated by the power of data and digital and always look forward to opportunities to learn more, to connect with the industry peers. So when this opportunity showed up, I didn't hesitate. I literally just jumped in.
You just jumped in.
Yeah.
Uh, you just jump into things normally? Is that your nature?
I wouldn't say that. There is some kind of justification and thinking behind it.
So this was a calculated risk you took.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a risk. It's a wonderful opportunity. Of course, I would jump in.
So my mind works in return on investment. Everything I do and the way I think is return on investment. So what I was just asking was an investment question. What was the investment? What was the effort, the time that you had to put into it? So you're telling me there wasn't even a risk. What was the return? What did you get out of the experience?
I think from the accelerator experience, there was many things quite memorable and with many takeaways. I will kind of list a few. I think first, the experience definitely broadened my perspective, and kind of talking with the people there create a renewed sense of urgency. The program also invited some industry consortium or industry companies experts to kind of have a discussion with us. It definitely creates that sense of urgency. Give that clear realization is digital acceleration is not a choice at this moment. It is a must. But kind of working with the industry peers and have that type of conversation, it also brought a sense of hope and energy because you realize there are other people there facing similar challenges and opportunities. And these are incredibly inspiring. I attended the program last year. I think it's almost 1 year now. I'm still in touch with some of the attendees from my cohort. And those ongoing connections have been incredibly valuable. I think it definitely provides that momentum to continue this journey. And also that constant kind of brainstorming and sharing, I found is super, super helpful. For me
But,
personally,
yeah.
I also feel like the experience in MOA kind of remind me how to embrace who I am and how to embrace life. Definitely give me a deeper sense of freedom. I think this is really the unique part about this immersion accelerator program. And I think kudos to you, to Justin, Maddie, and other staff, Wolfgang and Thomas, for the value add faculty. And you put a lot of thoughts into really creating this really unique and also lasting experience for us.
Thank you, Guoying. It's bringing back memories. We did have quite a transformational experience together. You mentioned, if you don't mind me going there, freedom. You said it, and tell me more about that idea. We're talking about digital improving R&D productivity,
Yeah.
and now you're talking to me about freedom. Yeah, tell me more. Tell me more about what happened for you and how freedom helps you accelerate.
I think in the immersion program, there was an exercise for each of our attendees to drive a racer car just across all that rocks. I think looking back now is really how we could build that confidence to overcome the barrier and trust the capabilities of the racer and trust the faculty's arrangement. And also, I have a lot of gratitude for one of the trainer. I think she literally just turned back to me and said, "Going, trust me, I will set you up for success for this." I'm not a good driver at all, but I think with all this setup, I sat behind the wheels and I was able to drive the racer across a huge rock, almost 30 degrees or something. And when I found I could do that, and it's just such a wonderful kind of experience. It's almost like I have a hesitation, I have doubts whether I can have that level of driving skills to do that. But I realized I could. And the experience is so enjoyable. It's just for me, it's just more like it's some shackles kind of was broken and that kind of sense of freedom. I think when I reflect back on that experience, I would say for digital acceleration, there will be situations where we feel we don't have all the pieces in place, and we also kind of a bit afraid about what's going to come, whether we will fail. But I think how is you kind of look for someone who help you to set things up for success, and also feels like there are things you just need to take a step forward and have all the logistics set up and take that calculated risk, as you mentioned earlier. And you will achieve a breakthrough and actually will kind of open a whole new world, whether for the organization, for yourself. It's another level of freedom. It's another level of transformation, and the impact is just huge.
Yeah, it's just amazing how these foundational principles work no matter what setting or context.
Yeah.
If you can learn the return on investment when you're facing a fear, it applies as much to digital adoption and new AI and new technology, or a new leadership role. You took on a new leadership role, I think, within that year since we've been together.
Yes.
We talked recently. You had mentioned you may not have taken on some of these responsibilities had you not have had this experience that taught you how free you were to take risks and walk into the unknown.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you know that 80% of our participants say that what we do has helped advance their career? Does that surprise you? No?
I'm not surprised at all.
But 80%? That's almost everybody.
Yeah, because I think that it's really a unique experience, very powerful experience. I think it has that logistic part about digital innovation, but underlying it is really, it's like how to have your horizon, how that have that personality of traits, or some leadership elements.
Thank you, Billy. Yeah, I'm curious because you've had such a amazing experience through your life, such a trajectory from where you began to where to our experiences together to where you are today. I feel like the curve of progress just keeps steepening and steepening and steepening for you. Most people think, oh, I have a family, then my life kind of plateaus. I just wait until retirement. But for you, it just keeps getting more and more interesting and accelerated. If you would be willing to share with us a little more about yourself, where you came from, where you are, where you're going.
Sure, definitely happy to share that.
Thank you.
I think here is a kind of tell a little bit of personal story. I want to start it with a quote from The Alchemist. This is one of my favorite books. I will read it almost once every year. And there's a quote in the book. It says, "When you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it." Looking back and even kind of saying it now, I really felt the truth of it. Like the shepherd in the book, in the story, I have been on a journey and always moving toward a dream that I want to see it. I grew up in China. So my hometown is a coal mining town in the northeastern part of China. It's a small town surrounded by mountains and long winters. My father was a coal miner and my mother was a housewife. In my hometown, most girls, when they grow up, they will marry either a coal miner or a farmer. But for me, I always felt there was more. There was a bigger world beyond the mountains. And I definitely wanted to see what's beyond the mountains. So that's how I started my journey. I did well in the national entrance exam. That's where it got me to Beijing University in China. And
Is that people don't normally even take the exam, I guess. You're saying they normally marry a miner farmer.
yeah, yeah, some of the students took that exam, and actually I was the first student in my hometown to be accepted by Beijing University. That's definitely something my parents were proud of. I think surviving in the big cities in Beijing was a challenge when I first arrived, because when I first arrived in Beijing, taking a bus is a kind of novel experience for me. But I managed kind of working through my college. And at that time, I think the college broadened my life and the vision, and I found I want to see a bigger world. And that's where I applied for the universities in America. And I was accepted by a PhD program in Columbia University. That's where I spent 7 years for my PhD and postdocs.
Okay, so that was your time in New York you were telling me about? And
Correct.
you're saying, Jake, how did you do it with 3 kids?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so you do empathize. Columbia,
Mhm.
Upper West Side, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say coming to America was really a unique experience because it's the first time I felt like I don't need to compare myself with other people, because in China I always felt like I came from a small town and I need to catch up. There are so many things I don't know with the classmates from bigger cities. And coming to America, it's the first time I felt like I can start everything from a clean slate and to build my expertise, build my achievements, and also build a better life for myself and for my family. So I think we talk about freedom. It's also a moment I felt like I have full control about how to build my life. After the PhD and postdoc training, I joined the Genentech in California. So Genentech Roche is my first and only company I worked for. I still enjoy the company, It's a wonderful place to work. I think thinking about the life journey, it's just say from that small coal mining town in the northeastern part of China to now the Bay Area in California. It's definitely been a long journey. I think along the journey, I always feel grateful to my many teachers, whether it's elementary school teacher or high school teachers, the friends and also colleagues, and particularly my family, who have been supporting me along the journey and really continuously helping me to chase my dream and I want to see a bigger world.
So now I understand. You told me at one point that your children would give you a hard time about never going in the left lane, driving on the freeway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you didn't grow up driving on the super highways very much. No.
Then I only learned how to drive when I moved to California. Jake, in New York City, you don't need to drive at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, so you're learning to drive after a postdoc, no less. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay. But now the left lane, how often are you in the left lane?
Not much at all.
Still not much.
No. I'm fine. I think I'm driving on the right lane. I take my time. Yeah, there's nothing to be rushed. I have my audiobooks there, so
You're in control.
yeah.
So I ask because I'm curious where you're headed. You have such an amazing backstory, and I know this last year your career has really Roche and Genentech puts a lot of trust in you, clearly,
Yep.
taking the role that you did within pharma technical, data and digital, and where are you headed? What's next? What's your next horizon?
Yeah, so I spent over 17 years in the CMC technical development areas. And Jake, as you mentioned, recently I became the head of data and digital in the biologics CMC development areas in Roche. I think right now I'm really focused on how to build a bridge between the CMC technical development and the digital solutions. My goal is to really drive and shape how the data and digital acceleration or transformation will deliver tangible business value, really address where are the bottlenecks, where are the pains in the business, and how we reverse engineer some kind of digital tools to really change the people who are in the front line dealing with day-to-day life, and also how to streamline the business process.
And what are you learning through this? What are you learning about digital adoption?
I think for digital adoption, there are, I think overall people are really thinking about digital solution have that power. So people are willing to learn. They want to learn more. They also want to learn from each other, really kind of practically how the data and digital can simplify their life. I think AI is a really good example. People really amazed by their power. But on the other hand, I would say whether it's AI or the other digital tools, there is still a gap in the trust. People, on one hand, want to believe the tools are reliable, will bring benefits, but sometimes there are gaps, so the trust still needs to be earned. And another part I also learned, say, if we want to truly leverage the power of digital solutions, including AI, etc., or any digital tools, the user adoption has to be front and center. I think that trust is one of the elements. I think that any technology or any shiny tools by themselves are not enough. It's only after you use it, the adoption is where the transformation happens. And often during this process is how you can identify some change agent, really become the advocate for it. And the people kind of deep in the organization, they can spread the word. And I think it's the peer influencing is a lot more powerful than kind of top down, this kind of mandate or influence.
I love those observations. I'm curious if you were to advise me. I'm trying to get some technology. I don't even know what technology, right? It's like I'm just starting from square one. I know that there's all this chat GPT and all these different Gemini, different sources of generative AI that can help me. I don't even know where to begin. That's my first question. And then you talked about adoption being the most important. How much of my time should I be spending thinking about that versus which technology is right versus piloting a use case? Where should I start and how much time should I really be putting into the people side of this digital problem?
Wow, Jake, that's a loaded question.
Boom.
So I would say these questions will translate to different actions if you look at the organization level, right? I will start with, I say the front users. The end users is people kind of down in the organization where they really kind of frontline workers, right? I think for them, it's really to introduce some pragmatic everyday AI tool, like say Gemini, how to quickly search the inbox for certain informations, or is search some keyword. And this is something I think of we need to identify some practical cases and also, as I said, identify some change agents. So we really encourage that peer learning. And also, I think for an organization, if we really want to encourage the everyday AI or everyday use digital user solutions, the manager and the direct reports need to have that commitment. For example, allocate at least 1 hour per month, really focus on this learning new tools, but also how to pass on. I think that is on a front user. But if we go up, let's say in my role as a CMC data and digital foundations, I think first we need to recognize people have these needs. There's so many things going on. It's overwhelming. It's really hard for me to pick which one to focus. And we need to collaborate with the business function, say, this is the areas, this is repetitive work or people kind of having some pain, and how we can really identify the relevant simple solution on that and really have that holistic approach and have that kind of training and to roll out that people know these tools are available.
Tell you what, I I can't wait to see how this plays out for you and the things you continue to learn.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to obviously have to have you back to teach us lessons learned or what you're learning through the process. I'm encouraged, though, to know that there's a leader in charge of all this that believes that they have and knows that they have the freedom to take risks, calculated risks, and that you can do hard things. From northeastern China, coal mining town, to Columbia University, first in your village to get to Beijing. I mean, it's just incredible what you've been able to accomplish. Like, I can only expect good things from here.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you, Guoying. Thanks for coming on. I will say to any listeners to remember that there's only 12 seats. We only allow 12 people into our accelerators. But I think, Guoying, you've taught us, do one thing that scares you every day. And maybe coming to a cross-industry accelerator is scary. Maybe leaving your hometown and going to the big city is scary. Maybe Moab adventures are scary. But there's that saying attributed to many people, but I truly believe in its power. Do one thing that scares you every day. And so with that, Guoying, we'll sign off.
Yep. Thanks, Jake, for the opportunity.
Thank
Very
you
nice.
very much.